This is Scene Sealers. We got Kyla-Drew. We're seeing if we can get David. I did want to start by congratulating you. The show, it seemed like it was the biggest show this weekend on Netflix. I think it's fair to say that. How does that feel, seeing the reaction to it from Jump?
Yeah, we did. We hit #1 this week, and it's honestly so crazy. I never really expected all that, and I'm loving the energy and just love that the show's getting. So thank you guys for watching the show, streaming it, loving it. We're so thankful.
Definitely. How'd you become a part of it?
I first auditioned last year I believe it was the end of January. And it was a 3-week process. And I got the audition and I only printed out like 6 out of 18 of the pages because I guess I'm not as tech savvy as I think. And so I showed up to the audition, and thank God the casting director, Miss Kim Coleman, she told us that we were only going to be doing the first scene. And so I had that memorized. Then a couple hours after my first audition, I got pinned. And pinned just means like there's heavy interest for the role.
Yeah.
And then I did 2 chemistry reads with Jamie during like the next 2 weeks. And then I got the call that I booked it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I will, congratulate you as well.
Thank you.
On the show. Like I said, I'm pretty sure biggest TV show on Netflix this weekend. And 2, I am definitely interested in how you got involved with it.
I can tell you real quick.
Yeah.
You know, Jamie and I have always been friends over the years. We'd see each other usually around award time. So this is the prime Jamie Foxx for David Allen Grier spotting season. You understand? No pandemic. He and I are going to run into each other. Oscar party, one of them kind of parties. And it was always the same. It was like, man, do I have your number? I think I have your number. Are you in my book? Man, wait. And we text, hey, man, what's up? And let's work together. So I was in New York last year, and I was doing a play on Broadway, and I got a text from my stand-up agent. And it was like, it was real weird because she goes, would I be open to a conversation with Jamie's lawyer? We shared the same lawyer. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, about what? I mean, was I stealing jokes? I mean, what's going on?
Oh, God.
So Jamie called, and I was like, this is Oscar time, baby, because I know this is going to be like a Quentin Tarantino flick. He wants me to star in this bad boy, and this is it. So he said, I want to do a TV show. I'm like, okay, well, you know, we're going to be a TV show. It's going to be a Tarantino TV show. And he said, I want to do a sitcom. I want to do a throwback sitcom. Also, conceptually, I think what Jamie had, the vibe that he had in mind, is what we talked about, is a show right for this moment. Just turn it on and laugh. I mean, that's what we're trying to give you all. And it's not that we ignore the real world, because we don't. You know, there's episodes in there we deal with what's happening in the real world, but it's definitely a throwback vibe. And for me, I just wanted to make sure Jamie was going to be on the show. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be on there like, you know, where did Cousin Ricky go? He went, he on the space shuttle. He won't be back for 2 years. You know, that kind of thing. So, no, he was so excited, man. I was like, I was asking, but I didn't want to ask her. I was like going, so how do you see this character? And he was like, that's me and you, man. We're going to be kicking this. I was like, okay, cool. So do you see like us like acting together all the time? He's like, yeah, man, that's what I'm doing. We can do whatever you want. He kept saying, do whatever you want. And you know what that is, man. Anybody, when your mother tells you do whatever you want, that's not what she means. Yeah. She said do whatever she wants. So when I first started rehearsing, I'll be, you know, doing my thing. I said, okay, but I'm going to do these lines on the page. And Jamie, at the end of every workday, Jamie would send me a text or tell me personally or call me and just be like, you know, you can say whatever you want. So finally, after 3 days, we're working on this scene. I said, I had this idea. And he said, do it. So I just threw it out there. And he was like, that's what I'm talking about. So once it was safe, we started playing, man. And it's been great. It was so much fun, so much stress-free fun. You understand? And we did this last summer. I was really kind of reticent. I didn't really know how the industry was going to move forward. You know, this is before the vaccine.
Right.
But they really came with a great protocol. And I've just felt great, man. And I feel like we just started warming up. There's only 8 shows to this season. And, you know, right when we were done, I was like, man, I wish we could do some more. We all did.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it seems like the audience is certainly excited for more. I will note that it seems like the best way to go is to talk to you, David, and then switch
I'm gonna hand the
to
baton
Kyla-Drew.
to her.
Yeah, I did have a couple more questions because you mentioned you have that rapport with Jamie. Was it weird playing his father because you certainly met him more as a peer on In Living Color? I don't think like you were sort of a cast member on there already, but it wasn't like a
generational.
Yeah.
I'm 11 years older than Jamie.
Exactly. So it's funny to see
what are you
now
saying,
you're like,
sir?
Pops.
Are you saying that 11-year-olds don't father children? Because you'd be wrong. What I do think is funny is that all of a sudden, I told you we're doing a sitcom, all of a sudden the pushback is like, but biologically, physiologically, is this possible? I mean, I don't remember when Golden Girls was on, everybody was like, is Estelle Getty physically older than everyone else? You know, Rue McClanahan and all that little stuff. No, I mean, I think this is based on Jamie's story.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he really wanted me to do it. I mean, I talked about it. And Jamie's response was, did I offend you by asking you to play my dad? I was like, no, I would have been offended had you not called. That would have been. And he was like, you don't have to play my dad. You can play anything. You can play an uncle, family friend. I said, no, leave it as dad. Because I felt like there's so much emotional fuel
Mm-hmm.
in that relationship. You know, we've all grown up with, you know, crazy Uncle so-and-so. And it's like, really? He's in the house? He's been living there for 20 years? No, I said, leave it here because I did feel that and I told Jamie that if we ever want to go to that place, it's there. Father, son, that, you know, that family tie is something you just can't fake.
Yeah, definitely. And I think too, like having done In Living Color with him all those years ago, there's still that framework of like playing characters with him in that whole cast. And so like,
but again, there's really we break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
We throw characters in there. You know, that's just a freeform show we're doing. You know, you're either going to ride with us or not. You're either going to be that or like, but there's a mariachi band in the driveway. How did they get there? Who invited them? Either, you know, you're going to either ride or die. So I'm embracing this process, this freedom, and we just do it. Like the episode where I did Calhoun Tubbs, literally we're doing it, and Jamie, it's like a light bulb goes off. He goes, oh my God. I'm like, what? What's going on? I'm thinking he's gonna have to leave the set because usually that's what happens. Right. Oh my God, I'll be right back. Guys, hold for an hour. No, he said, oh, I wish you had your guitar. And I'd been bringing my guitar to my dressing room every day. I just left it at home that day, but I lived like 15 minutes away from the studio. I said, I'll go get it. And we just threw it in.
Yeah.
And it was at his urging. So I was like, okay, all right. So, you know, normally my head voice would have been, this hat's not right. I need all the accoutrements of the character. and they just gave me some stuff. I just went with it. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
was really fun. It was really fun.
That's amazing. I think it's probably a good time to bring in Kyla-Drew.
Now, you want me to sign off?
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's end with like, can you think of a time that your parents embarrassed you, and did
Oh
any
my
sort of
God.
personal experience make it into the show?
Oh my God. Uh, a lot of times. I mean, several times, specifically my father, when I remember well, he's passed away, so may he rest in peace.
Mm.
But I was hanging out with a group of friends of mine. One of them was a very attractive lesbian woman, and my dad proceeded to hit on her like Dean Martin
Oh, God.
1967 Playboy bunny party style. And it became, for all of us except for him, it was a macabre movie. You
Mm.
know, until finally at the end of the night, I loved my dad. I didn't have the
Mm.
heart. I think I waited a month or so because he kept asking me, who was that beautiful, fine, foxy gal? I was talking up all night. I was like, well, Dad, she plays for a different team. Oh, she's an athlete? I was like, kind of, yeah, you know. So I told her, I said, well, she's gay. And he just went, I knew that. So I go, yeah, that was it. My dad came in the house one time and he said, oh man, we should go to an orgy. And yeah, I mortified you and we're not even related. You understand? I just was like, that is something we never need to do. Never.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh, God.
Ever. And we didn't. But he was, you know, that was when I was like an adult. But I guess he was like, now I can be my real self and, you know, really treat you like my friend, my man friend. You know, and I'm like, no, I don't need that. I for one, the one thing I have not missed during COVID times is hugs. As a performer, I'm required to hug a lot of people in airports,
Right.
on planes, and I like to hug, you know, relatives, sick friends. I don't want to be hugging every damn body. So I've been blaming everything on COVID. I'm like, I can't hug you. We got this pandemic. So, yes.
Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that story. Certainly beats Sasha having to go to the sex therapist with Jamie's character. But yeah, I did want to, of course, give Kyla-Drew some time. We're so thankful that you bared with us and came on to talk a little bit.
I will say this about Kyla. She is so sweet, so mature. She is definitely the most mature one of all of us. And she and her mom, all the kids are really great to work with. And I really, coming from me, that's a lot. 'Cause, no, she's really cool. All right, I'm going to hang up. It was great talking with you guys. Sorry it was so janky, okay?
Stop, I'm geeking about what you just said.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I mean, I was loving that you were still in the comments, like really having fun with it. That was great.
No, literally, he's so funny. Like, I can't. Like, that was a whole comedy show for me.
Yeah, the story was
Yeah.
more than I could have asked for.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, like we just talked to the OG scene stealer with David. I wanted to know sort of going into playing Sasha, how'd you kind of find the funny? Because of course, like the show's Dad Stop Embarrassing Me. There are like maybe some parents watching the show are like, you know, like she needs to relax on being rude to Jamie or something like that, or sort of like finding the funny in that dynamic. So I'm so interested in hearing like how you approached it.
I talked to Corinne about a lot of the scenes and stuff. The first day on set, she gave me her number, everything. She was like, call me, text me if you need anything. And I just feel like it was really a collaborative effort between everyone. And, everybody's like funny, funny, funny. And yeah, Sasha sometimes she be very she's a little mean to her dad. She is, but because she's so embarrassed, but I think it balances itself out, like between the funny and between the calm. Y'all need to bring it all the way down. And yeah, it was a collaborative effort.
Definitely. Because I will say, like, that, in my opinion, like, how Sasha found the funny, what are those, like, clapbacks and, like, dragging her whole family and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That was
like, she would make sly comments, like, and things, like, during the whole episode. Actually, that was the first episode when, Jamie's character, Brian, comes into the room and she's TikTok dancing or whatever. And he's talking about, Disneyland and him throwing up on the ride, and she's just like, oh, you still rolling with that? Little things like that. I feel like it's the talking back that she kind of tries to get her jokes in.
Exactly. You mentioned Corinne. What was like this experience like going into it where you're kind of playing a version of her, but also this is its own character? Like, did you really just have a lot of conversations with her, or sort of depend on the scripts? Like, what was that unique experience of having sort of like Jamie's daughter there as you're playing Jamie's daughter and her being a producer on the show?
It's a little bit intimidating playing a character that's based off of someone in real life. But from the jump, Corinne was like, you're playing a version of me. You're not playing me. These might be some of my real life stories, but I'm not playing Corinne. I'm playing Sasha. And she definitely made that very apparent to me from the beginning. But she was always there to tell me, okay, this is how this rolls, yada, yada, yada. But she definitely gave me a lot of creative freedom with it.
That's awesome. And did it become sort of like a familial bond by the end of it? Maybe like a little sister dynamic, because you are with Jamie and of course Corinne, and Jamie has a whole history with David. So like, was it like entering a family?
Literally everybody, they're my second family. It's Uncle Jay, Auntie Portia. They're my second family. And I really hope we get to come back for more seasons, just because the last week of set, I was just so used to like the routine. Oh, I'm going to see my aunties, my uncles. And then that Monday that we didn't have work, I was like, oh, dang, I miss them. So I hope that we get to go back and make some more episodes, because they are my second family.
Amazing. I do want to get to audience questions, because I feel like they deserve it for riding with us. Let's see if this Q&A thing. Okay, great. Well, of course, I can barely see.
If you like that. I don't have my glasses on.
I know. Maybe let's go to questions in the comments. Guys, comment any questions you may have. You know what, I'll start. Like, was there a lot of improv on set? Because I mean, some of the jokes, it's just like, I can't imagine it being scripted.
Oh, most definitely. I would say a lot of it was in improvisation. The whole episode, it's my favorite episode, the Goddess Namaste. If I'm saying that right, I'm pretty sure I am. But the second episode with the Reverend Sweet Tea, most of that was improv. Like Mr. Dave was just saying, the last episode with the guitar, that was impromptu. They decided they wanted to do that like an hour before we filmed it.
Right.
So it was a lot of improv, and it was a lot of improv in the show.
That's awesome. Okay. Is there a season 2? We don't know yet. What is it? Definitely. You guys determine that, so keep watching.
Yes.
What is it like in a audition room. This is from Asa20_. What is it like in an audition room?
Ooh, I would say the first 30 seconds is very telling and it can be very intimidating. I get really nervous. Like, but after I'm talking to them for a little bit, then it's just fun. And I'm just like, okay, shoot. But it's mainly up until I start doing the scene that I'm just like a little like, I'm Kyla-Drew. But once you get into it, I think it's pretty fun. And then I'm just pretty enthusiastic the whole way through.
Nice. Miles 4, that's with, let's see, 4 S's. It says, and Miles with the Y. How was your birthday?
My birthday was really good. I'm gonna admit, I turned 16 at the beginning of the pandemic.
Right.
And 17 is just, I just didn't think it was like that big of a deal. But my birthday was amazing. My 2 cousins actually flew out from North Carolina and surprised me at the nail salon. And they spent my birthday with me. And then my OG friend, Storm, came to dinner, and we just all ate dinner. And yeah, it was a great birthday. It was a day well spent.
Yeah, that's a good pandemic birthday. You got stuff. It was like safe but nice. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But for 18, we gonna turn up.
Exactly.
That's a promise.
Yeah. We got some Nickelodeon heads in the house. So Adora's cat asks, how different was this role from playing May on It's Nikki, Ricky, you got to help me out here.
Nikki, Ricky, Dickie, and Don. It's a tongue twister. It's a tongue. It took me a minute to get it. I just say NRDD because it gets a lot.
They said NRDD too, yeah.
How is it different? I would say I got a lot more like creative freedom in terms of like improvisation and stuff. But then also, I was like pretty much the only like kid on this set. I mean, we also had Miracle Brains, it's amazing. But on NRDD, it was like all kids.
Right.
So that was different, going in with comedic legends and stuff versus being with people my own age.
Yeah. And I mean, first episode, like, you're not going to get that scene with Lunel on a
Yeah,
Nickelodeon.
you're not going to get, the sex therapist on the Nickelodeon show. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. It's me _Diziona. Hopefully I didn't mess up your username. Has anyone messed up on their lines and stuck with it? So any breaks that actually made it into the show, and I'd also love to know any memorable breaks that may have happened.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll do this like a 2-part question. A lot of breaks actually did make it into the show. Someone would forget their line and just ad-lib, and then we just all go with it. And that's probably in every single episode. Although you guys probably won't be able to tell because that's how good we got chemistry, because we can just bounce off one another. But I would say the funniest break for me, at least, was in the Goddess Namaste episode when I was supposed to be a little bit emotional, after the speech from my mom. Uncle Jay made a funny joke as Reverend Sweet Tea, and I just started laughing. I could not stop. Like, I broke out of character real quick. I was all in my feelings, and then I was cracking up.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that didn't make it into the show, though, for
because I feel like
reasons.
Yeah, I feel like just being around that character himself would be like hard to keep a straight face.
Yeah, it was. That's probably my favorite character that they put in the show.
Yeah.
I think it was so funny.
Definitely. I just love the comment from Aquilise, this suit is giving, girl. Agreed.
Thank
Shout out
you.
to your suit.
Well, it's just the top, because, when you on live, you only see the top part. But on the bottom, I got sweatpants on.
Okay, let's see. Some of the stuff is like K-pop. Are you a K-pop fan?
Okay, I'm not like a crazy K-pop fan because I know people take it real serious with the fan pages, everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like a little BTS. I like a little Blackpink. I like a little bit. I know a couple songs.
Mm.
There's some bops.
You got like your starter, your K-pop starter pack.
Yeah, I got my starter pack. Maybe this summer I'll get into it and I'll make a K-pop fan page.
Yeah. Let's try this one. So this is Emily Moore XOX. Any funny pranks on set?
Ooh, that's a good one. I I don't know why I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I was going to prank Jamie, but I never followed through with it. But if we get a season 2, I'll probably do it. But I'll go ahead and tell y'all. So he always parks his car like right outside the stage, and I wanted to like put like maybe like a fake doll or something, like a life-size doll with like feet, and like have it like the legs like underneath the car and see like his reaction.
Yeah,
I really wanted to do that.
You got to get props in on that. Yeah,
I do. I'm gonna have everyone in on it. I'm gonna have everyone in on it.
Exactly. Well, it's been such great talking to you. I do want to ask one more question, just going with the theme of the show. Can you think of a time your parents embarrassed you?
Oh, just one. My mom embarrasses me a lot. My mama, my granddad, my auntie Pooh, my nanny. But my mom, a very memorable, embarrassing experience with my mom is, it was I was 4 years old, and I was at my ballet recital. And if you know, ballet, you're supposed to be quiet. It's classical music, very poised. And so, I was doing my little first position or whatever. And my mom is just screaming my name on stage, is just cheering me on, chanting Kyla-Drew, and just being extra loud. And let's just say the whole auditorium knew who I was and knew my mama was proud of me. But yeah, that was super embarrassing. Nobody else's mama was doing it, but I guess she's my biggest support system, and she's been that my whole life. So
exactly, and now you're at a stage where the whole world knows who you are because Netflix is global, and you got this big show, Dead Stop Embarrassing Me. So I want to once again thank you, Kyla-Drew, for coming on Scene Stealers. Thank David Allen Grier separately because sadly Instagram wouldn't let us have our room moment, all three of us together.
Yes, next time, hopefully. Like, dang. I'm so upset that didn't work out.
I know. I don't know. Maybe I'll test drive it like on my personal account or something like that. But
I don't know what's going on. I think it's definitely an IG thing.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks so much for coming. And thanks everyone for asking questions and sticking with us. Certainly a memorable episode of Scene Stealers. But once again, Dad Stop Embarrassing Me is on Netflix. Thank you, Kyla-Drew.
Thank you for having me.
All right,
Bye.
See ya.